Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I'm today's moderator, Jason O, and we are here providing you with awesome virtual panels from the comfort of your own home, totally free, thanks to some awesome sponsors like Go Collect. In case you don't know what Go Collect is, it's your number one source for collectibles. They track the sales of graded comics and have robust analysis tools for their users. They stay active on social media and have giveaways every single week. They also have an expansive blog with topics on comic book speculations, video games, and concert posters. Soon they are getting ready to launch price guides for concert posters and video games, so check it out. It's simple. Their goal is very simple: to make collecting better. So be sure to check them out at gocollect.com. Whether you're a veteran here or it's your first time, we'd like to welcome you with open arms. I want to quickly let you guys know about some upcoming panels. Later tonight, we have a super awesome whiz quiz, nerdy survivor style trivia with the one and only Mike G. So be sure to tune into that. Saturday, we've got Max Brooks signing copies of Devolution. Tuesday, we've got the cast of Battlestar Galactica. Also on Tuesday, we've got the cast of One Tree Hill. And then next Saturday, we've got the cast of Sons of Anarchy. So be sure to tune in to all of those. But for today, we've got something a little bit different for you. We've got a great panel lined up featuring some awesome women from Supergirl Gamer Pro, as well as the creator of the competitive series himself. For those that haven't heard of Supergirl Gamer Pro, that is a tongue twister. It is the only female-driven multi-title esports tournament series in the US, featuring games like League of Legends, CSGO, and Hearthstone. Without further ado, I'm going to shut up because I'd like to learn some more about these fantastic women and the founder. And we're just going to bring them on stage, start talking to them, start interacting. If you guys have questions as we're going through this, please throw them down in the chat and we'll be sure to hit as many as possible. First up, we're going to bring out Emily Guerrito. Wait, no, I did that wrong. Emily Guerrito, the founder of one of the top female Counter-Strike teams in the world before being recruited to Team Dignitas, where she is now captain. Her team has gone on to place top 3 in numerous prestigious events, and she is also a Twitch streamer, part-time nurse, and an active community member who aspires to one day combine her love for gaming with her desire to care for and rehabilitate people. Welcome, Emily, to the stage. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you
Hi.
so much for joining us. We're stoked to have you here. Did I
Thank
do
you
the
for having
role?
me.
Was that good enough?
It was perfect, but I must correct you. The team name is pronounced Dignitas.
Dignitas, more like Kingdom Hearts, like Veritas. I should have been more like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next up, we have Steph Miss Harvey. Miss Harvey is a 5-time world champion in Counter-Strike and a longtime female pro gaming icon. She's now CounterLogic Gaming's director of esports franchise development and outreach. Though she was formerly a game designer for Ubisoft Montreal, Stephanie dedicates much of her time raising awareness for healthy gaming habits, gender equality, and online toxicity. She has 17 years in esports and 7 years as a developer, which has awarded her a Forbes 30 Under 30, BBC 100 Women, and the title of Canada's Smartest Person Season 3 on CBC. Let's welcome Steph Miss Harvey to the stage.
Hello.
Hello, as the crowd applauses wildly and we can't hear them, but imagine it's there. We know, we're streamers, we all understand. And lastly, but certainly not least, is Rick Bratman, the CEO of ASA Entertainment and the creator of Supergirl Gamer Pro. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us today.
I feel that Rick's description was kind of
I
underwhelming.
know. I know. Yeah, thanks for putting me after Steph and Emily. I'm like, geez, Louise.
I'm sorry. I was working on the script. I'm like, I have only a limited amount to work with. There you go.
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
And here's Rick.
Emily's a registered nurse working on the front line. Steph is Canada's smartest person, and then that guy.
I mean, in fairness, you've helped. You've created Supergirl Gamer Pro, so you help bring it all together. But absolutely, I mean, Rick, you and I, we're both at this point in the current climate and everything, we're taking backstage anyways. So, let's let these women shine.
Absolutely.
So we're going to jump into some questions. I want to get to know personally a little bit more about you guys. I was asked to host this today. I was super excited. We're going to do some fan questions. We're going to do some pre-made questions. And we're going to just jump right in to start off and let people get to know you guys that maybe have never heard of you or, seen Supergirl Gamer Pro. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Emily. Tell us a little bit about yourself because I did not do it justice, I'm sure.
No, you did a really good job. Thank you for the beautiful intro. So like you said, my name's Emily. I'm the team captain for Dignitas's all women's CSGO and Valorant team. I think we're the first all women's team to do both games right now, so we're very happy about that. And I am also a nurse. I work in the addiction field, so I help people that are struggling with drugs and alcohol. I'm very passionate about combining my nursing skills and applying it over to gaming. Dignitas is also owned by the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. So we do a lot of work with the Sixers training staff. So that's really cool because all the resources that the basketball players we get too. And that's just a little bit about my team and me.
I love it. That's really cool about Valorant. I am trying to get better at that game, but I'm more
It's
of
so
like,
fun.
it is so fun. I'm
love it.
much more of the fast-paced competition. So I'm learning very slowly to slow down and pace myself. Great game though. I'm excited to see where you guys go. Steph, tell us a little bit about you.
I mean, just like I think your introduction was really good. There's not much to add, but
Oh, stop.
Em talked a little bit about Dignitas parent company, so I'll add that we're kind of similar. We're owned by the Madison Square Garden company, so we also do a lot of collaboration with the Knicks and the Rangers. And big hockey fan here, so love it. As well as any of the other, MSG owned companies. But I'm super excited. I'm currently working, as you mentioned, on CLG as a director, and it's pretty much if I can't compete anymore, it's the only thing that kind of brings me any sort of satisfaction, which is trying to give back. So creating a bunch of initiatives with CLG that has to do with health and wellness, diversity, inclusivity, youth as well. We're launching something pretty cool next week. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, there's a lot of activities going on behind the scene that I'm working on, and I'm frankly loving it.
I love it. That's super cool. It's awesome to see people giving back. Like it's so needed right now. So seeing that positivity is great. Also, total side note, I thought that was a cat behind you, and then it stood up, and that is a dog.
I did too at first. I did
We love pets. We love them.
Okay, I'll try to have her come later closer
Okay.
so I can show you how beautiful she is.
Oh, I love it. And Rick, we know that I didn't do good enough for you. It was one sentence. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. It's Supergirl Gamer Pro and where you are and kind of what helped you, think about inspiring to start this.
Yeah, I thought your introduction was beautiful. It summed me up perfectly.
Oh, stop it, you guys.
No, so I've been with ASA Entertainment now for a long time, about 2 decades. We started off as the leader in the development and production of action sports events worldwide. So skateboarding, BMX, surfing, snowboarding, those types of sports, basically the X Games sports. And we've been involved in virtually all aspects of that over the last 2.5 decades. And we launched the Supergirl series, which is all about providing opportunity for women in not just sports, but entertainment, media, popular culture, business, education, music, etc. We launched that 15 years ago as a women's empowerment initiative, and got involved in the gaming side 5 years ago because, as you all know, I mean, unfortunately, gaming is kind of the poster child for a industry where women are just unfortunately treated like second-class citizens, and there's so much toxicity out there. And that we felt like the Supergirl platform was a really perfect venue to help to promote inclusion, opportunity, and equality for women in gaming in the same way we've done in the fields of surf, skate, snow, music, DJs, and a variety of other industries that Supergirl has been involved with over the last 15 years. So we're really, really excited. It's been amazing, the momentum behind the whole Supergirl Gamer initiative. People like Steph and Emily have been just absolutely amazing ambassadors, and can't thank them enough for all they've done to help to promote it. And we're just out here trying to change the culture of gaming. That's that small little thing,
I love it. I love it. And it seems small. It seems small, but as we're going into, COVID and everybody's at their home right now, gaming and streaming and virtual competitions are huge right now. So I think that's awesome. I'm there with you, Rick. I want to see it's so toxic and it's so crazy. I'm a gamer myself, obviously. And I have a lot of friends that I play games with, and I'll jump in a voice chat and I'm just like, what? What are you saying to these people? It blows my mind. So I love that. I love that mission and I love that goal. And it's really cool that we've had the chance to talk to you guys today and learn a little bit more about that. So awesome. This is super, super, super cool. We're going to break down. We've got questions for individuals. We've got questions for all of you guys. We're just going to have a blast today and, hang out. And I'm just excited. I'm all giddy when they're like, hey,
Yay.
let's talk. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. So when they asked me to do it, I was like, yes, this is great. Because I want to also educate myself more. And I think that is a big part of changing that culture, is listening and educating. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up and start talking to you guys. So let's just start off. This is an open question for anyone that we're just going to jump right into the thick of it. What are the biggest challenges that you, Emma and Steph, face as women in a male-dominated industry? How did you navigate those challenges?
Well, for me, I've been playing Counter-Strike for a very long time, almost 14 years now. So just to kind of give you a background on that, when I first started, I used to be one of the only girls in California that was showing up at these local LAN events. And I thought that, why are there no other girls here? I can't be one of the only girl gamers. So I used to be what I called a closet gamer. I didn't tell anyone that I played video games back then because I didn't want to be made fun of. I didn't want to be called a nerd. It wasn't cool back then. Now it's really cool to be a gamer. But back then, it wasn't really a cool thing, I guess. And now, 14 years later, we're seeing, before COVID, obviously, stadiums filled with about 50% women that are competitors, that are fans, parents that are coming, moms, dads. So I think that these women tournaments like Supergirl Gamer Pro has been a really good platform to show the positive results in creating more women competitors and fans, because they have someone to look up to that's a woman gamer, and that's something that I didn't have when I first started.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and to follow up on that, I think one of the main thing, I mean, it's less and less the case, but when I started, just like I started in 03 as well, a long time ago. I feel that it was you're a unicorn, right? Whether that's good or bad, which that means you're either celebrated or you don't exist, so you're a myth. So being legitimate as a female gamer has always been like a struggle to be respected for just the fact that you game without having anything to do with your gender. So I think that's probably still to this day one of the biggest challenge. Even if you get onto any server like Valorant and you start talking, you're gonna have a comment, oh, like, you're a girl, or there's a girl, like. But it's starting to be less and less, and I think we're starting to see a lot of male allies who are like replying to these people like, who cares, it's just game. And I think that's the right thing, like because it's frustrating. Even if that person is gonna be on your case positively the whole game, it's really frustrating to just be treated differently all the time. And I think that's probably the biggest struggle. We just want a game too, and I really don't care about being the unicorn in the room. Like, let's just game.
I love that. And like just by seeing you guys' amazing reputation, it seems like you would do laps around most of them anyways. I mean, look at where you two are. You're up there if for lack of a better term, kicking ass and taking names. And that's really cool to see. And I think that we're seeing it start to shift a little bit, but there's so much more work to do. And I love seeing it. So when you guys are playing, whether it be competitively or casually, how do you like shrug that off, or how do you combat that when people come at you with toxicity? I know it's hard.
I have such a fun way of doing this. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
have so much fun. So
I love it.
whenever I'm solo queuing in a game, risky, I know, but whenever I do, if someone starts being a little, a little creeper, trying to be mean to me, I'll start talking in a Billy Bob voice. I called it Billy Bob, but I have a very high pitched voice, so obviously I'm gonna stand out. So I'll try to make my voice as deep as I can, and I end up sounding like an old man that's been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day for 30 years. But they stop talking to me. They're like, "All right, you're weird." I'm gonna so that's been my way of handling someone that's trying to be toxic, and it's been pretty successful way, I must say.
I'm gonna try that
I love
actually.
it.
I've never tried that.
Yeah, get your voice real deep.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it has always been about ignoring it. But the problem is once you get into a very competitive mindset, and like Emma saying, when you solo queue, you want to win, you want to get better. So it really gets in the way. So like you're frustrated because you died or you missed something, and then you get insulted on top for absolutely no reason other than the fact that you're a woman. It just like most of the time I'm just like, whatever, stay focused. Like, you're here to practice to get better. But I mean, once out of 100, it'll really piss me off. Like it will. So
Yeah.
like sometimes I fight back, sometimes I mute them, sometimes, it's always a different kind of mechanism, defense mechanism. But unfortunately, I think that playing with humor is probably the best way, but sometimes I'm so pissed off that I just try to have a thick skin. Like I just try to stay calm, breathe, because even in tournaments, you can get like talk shit on, in the game. And it's part of the mental process to be able to win. You have to be able to be stronger. So sometimes it's also a test of your mental toughness, right? So it's part of it.
Yeah, like she was saying, like we just kind of learned over the years, like me and Steph, to just have thick skin. But ideally that's normalized and it shouldn't be. We shouldn't just be tough and just have thick skin. It should be something that everyone can be comfortable naturally, so but
100%.
it's a great start, I would say, so far.
That's awesome. And it's tough, and especially solo queuing. Like I solo queue and I hate it. I can't even imagine how much worse it is to be a woman jumping into solo queue. I know a lot of friends that I have, they just won't even use mics because they're like, yeah, it's just, but then you have games like Valorant and Counter-Strike where you kind of need to.
You need to use your mic.
You
Yeah,
do.
that's why I don't just mute them. I'll still calm in my Billy Bob voice. You should try it sometime. It's a lot of fun. I end up having a lot of fun.
Can I get an example? Tell me that the bomb is me.
Bombs B, guys, rush B.
That's the deepest I can go.
That sound actually kind of normal, which is super
Really?
funny. Well, like, it sounds like a normal voice, but because it's coming from you, it's hilarious.
Oh, maybe.
Oh yeah, we can see your face, so we're like, I don't know, that's interesting. I love it. I love it. I'll sometimes like find myself late at night, like just messing with people online. If I'm playing with toxic players, especially if I'm playing with one of my female friends and there's toxic players, oh my God, I'll troll them like crazy with voices. And it's great. And I totally understand your point. You want to combat it, you want to be there, but I can't wait for the day to where we're all just playing a game together. Like, God, we can all play games and have fun. And that's what we're here to do at the end of the day. Like, yes, it's competitive, and yes, there's money to be made, but come on, it's games. We want to have fun. So Rick, jumping over into that, you've been silent. I'm sorry. I love hearing this. I'm learning so much
here.
Yeah. We're going to make you here. So, you told us a little bit about your inspiration for the event. But we also know that you're a proud #girl dad. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about what it's like raising daughters and how that has influenced what you're doing?
I mean, we're all a product of our own experiences. And, for me, my number one experiences as a dad of an athletic and a curious young woman. And, I've seen firsthand, not just with her, but through a lot of my friends and colleagues and relationships with women over the years. I mean, I've been in the sports business for probably longer than Steph and Emma have even been alive. And, and I've just seen the inequities like over and over and over again, where it just like boggles your mind. And like in some of the mainstream sports, like, football, maybe there's some physiological, differences that might prevent women from being doing everything that the men can do. But in gaming, like I came at, 5 years ago when we got involved in this, I came from the outside perspective and going, okay, wait, 47% of the gaming community is made of women, and women are getting about 0.5% of the tournament opportunities in esports. And physiologically, obviously, there's no difference. As a matter of fact, like I look at it and go, okay, you need mental dexterity, and you need to be able to think quickly on your feet, compartmentalize, and have good thumb movement. Hand. And women are way smarter than guys that I know, and they're way more compartmentalized. They can juggle way more things than guys can. And so I'm looking at it and go, it should be the other way around. Women should be getting 99% of the opportunities here, not 1%. And so, yeah, it's definitely been it's been an amazing learning experience. And to kind of echo what Steph and Emma have said, like we've spoken to, I haven't had this experience personally, but we've spoken to hundreds and hundreds of women throughout North America, and their story is all the same. They all say, I'm every bit as good as the guys that are out there. I just don't want to subject myself to the venom and the toxicity. So I'd rather just play with my friends, as opposed to putting myself out there. And that's the whole purpose behind Supergirl, is to create the safe space for women in a nurturing, comforting, supportive environment where, and not just from women, but we want guys to be in that as well, where women feel really good about and empowered about getting out there and competing and participating and being part of the industry, which they should be. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
So you being a dad has really kind of like shaped that, because you're seeing, one might say, like you said, you're seeing that firsthand, and you're almost more like, oh, I don't want this for my daughter, and you're trying to bring that in, and that's awesome. We need more of that. And I also like that you mentioned bringing in guys into it too, because yeah, of course it's important, and we have to put those women front and center, but the guys have to be part of the conversation, and like, hey, let's all remember that it's equity. We're coming together. So I love it. That's so great.
When we've spoken to people in the industry, both individuals, streamers, pros, teams, organizations, whatever. I mean, we've had just as much interest in supporting this platform from the guys as we have from the women, and we get excited about that because, as Stephanie and Em have said, like, they're out there. If they get the trolls, they can fight back. And but if we can normalize it, like our goal is to make Supergirl obsolete, so that we don't have to think of them as female gamers. They're just gamers, And so, and the women can shout about it, and we can create these amazing experiences for them. But in the end, it's the guys that say, shut up. Like, this is a ridiculous commentary. Like, if the guys start doing that consistently, then that 16-year-old kid who's in his basement trolling everybody, hiding behind an anonymous computer screen, is going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I need to start thinking differently. And so you're right, Jason, it has to be sort of a combined gender process for us to really change that culture.
Absolutely. And we're seeing that shift around everywhere. So I love that you're recognizing that. And I think that it is, to bring up your point, we are seeing that shift, in that there are a lot of guys that are like, this is stupid. We're all gamers. The issue is that the ones that are toxic are so vocal and they're so out there. So we just have to all come together and like bring that down, but one step at a time. And I think that you guys are on the right path. I love it. So for any of you guys, whether Rick or Emily or Steph, what legacy would you guys like to leave behind in your esports career, as we're talking about all of this?
Yeah.
Or Steph, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think I mentioned it. My legacy would have been to just win as much as I can, right? I can't anymore. So that legacy, well, I choose not to. I think that's the main difference. I can't sacrifice what M is sacrificing anymore. I love to sacrifice it differently. I feel I work just as hard as, if not harder, but I couldn't just be about my craft anymore. After doing that for like 16, 17 years, almost full time, I was kind of not my priority anymore. So my legacy right now that I'm focusing on is trying to help pave the way for people like for people like your daughter, Rick, and anyone else actually, to have safer environments, healthier gaming practices, normalizing gaming as a regular activity, just like a sport, in the media, as well as in our government executive and people that care about creating our education system better, implementing gaming in schools in the right way as an extra activity, so that kids can be taught what responsible gaming is, working on diversity, people of color, LGBTQ, and women in our gaming environment. So all of that would be my well, it's trying to be my legacy. Like, I do believe it, for any of these, it's a 360 approach. It has to come from everyone at the same time, from game companies, from our society, government, from our schooling, education system, from tournament organizers, from platform we use like Twitch, YouTube, and whatnot. And it comes from teams like CLG to push that forward, right? And Dignitas as well. Like, we don't have a lot of women's team in America. There's like Genji in Fortnite. There's us two in Counter Strikes, and like the Able, as well as a female team in Counter Strike. But I can't really think of any other women powered organization. So that's like not even on one end, right? It doesn't even feel one end. That's incredible. So I think that making a difference is a choice. You can think you want to make a difference. You can like want to support and love people that are doing initiatives, but in the end, you can just sit there and do nothing. If you care about it, it's a choice that you need to do something about it. And I think that the BLM movement that we've seen recently happening has been a great example of that. Being a bystander is not enough when you want to make a difference in that big of a society and system. And it's the same in gaming, being a bystander and just saying, yeah, support women. What do? Well, I have women gamers, friends. Okay, that's not enough. And it's a choice to make a difference and want to make things better. And I think that would be my legacy, my hope to teach people it's a choice, or it's a choice. It's not just about winning. It's not just about your clout and the amount of followers you have. And I think that right now we're still in that system. We want to have a lot of followers and win so we can get money and sponsors, and we're kind of stuck in that loop. And I don't like that loop at all. It really doesn't satisfy me as a human. I could care less. And I think that's why I was a competitor for so long and not an entertainer. Like, we're competing not because we want to be popular. We want to win, right? And now that I don't win anymore. I don't want to be more popular. It's not the goal. The goal is something else, for me at least. So yeah, I want to encourage teams to make that choice and to make a difference.
I love it. Emily, what about you? What legacy would you love to leave behind?
Wow, that was really good. Oh my gosh.
She's like, I've got this huge legacy that I'm gonna leave behind. No,
the difference is that I've had time to reflect, right?
Sure.
Like, retiring or after retiring has been the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. So I have my whole life has been about thinking about that. So like, if I was still competing, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, what else?
Yeah, I guess. I can imagine. Well, for me, so my legacy that I kind of want to leave behind is that hard work always pays off in the end. And I really hope that I've proved that, and I continue to prove it. And if someone looks up to me, then they know that they can work hard towards their goals, and eventually they'll reach it, as long as they don't fall down. And if they fall down, they always get back up. So just a little bit of my background so you know. I I wasn't really supported of playing games because I played a lot. I wanted to be one of the best, so I put a lot of time and effort into playing. So my parents didn't really support that too much, so they said, you know, you need to go to school, go to college. So I went to nursing school. And then once I got my nursing degree, I went back to gaming immediately because it's what I love. And so I just wanted to prove to my parents that I could do both. I could do nursing and gaming. So I wanted to so badly be a part of an organization. I wanted to represent a place, a home. So me and my team, when we first started in 2014, I literally ironed on our names on the back of a shirt because I wanted to be like everybody else. We were the only ones that didn't have any financial backing. So I ironed on the names on the back of our shirts. Totally ghetto. It was from a swap meet. One of my players' name was Rain, and I ran out of N, so I had to use a Z as an N. So it was so funny.
That's actually
But-
hilarious.
That's
Probably
good.
didn't know that, but that's what happened. But we did what we could do, and for 3 years before I was signed with Dignitas, I worked so hard. I was doing full-time nursing, and I would get up. My schedule was I would get up at 4 a.m. I would drive to work in LA, which was a 2-hour drive at the time, LA traffic, and then I would get off work about 2 or 3. I try to get off as soon as I can because I knew there was going to be traffic back home. Sometimes it would take me about 3 hours to get back home, and then by then I was already late for practice. And then we would practice from 4 till 10. I'm the captain of the team, so I had to do a lot of extra work. I had to practice my aim, my reflexes. I had to watch demos of my team. There was just so much work that I did, and I did that for 3 years. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because that's my legacy. I just want people to know that if you don't expect an easy start, because that actually made me and my team feel like we deserved it once we got signed. We felt like we earned it, you know, with Dignitas. And so that's what I want to leave behind to young boys and girls that, you know, aren't professional yet, but strive to be, is just to continue working hard and don't give up, because me and my team are proof of that.
I love it. I love that so much. That's such a good message. I think that there's a very big misconception right now, where specifically men in the industry think, oh, women have it easier. They're women. They get it on a silver platter. That's
Yeah.
not true. It's not true. It all comes with hard work. And like, that's a prime example of what you're talking about. That's an insane schedule. You can't even get me I work from home, and you can barely get me out of bed to go to my computer every day.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's super cool. Rick,
It's a
what about
very
you?
it's
Oh.
a very misconception, because if you look at like the top YouTubers, top streamers, top competitors, there's no women. Like I think top 100 streamers is like 2 women. You know, so
Right.
and we
You have
hear
to
that
work.
all
You have
the
to work
time.
like 4
I
times as
know.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear all the time. If you were a female streamer, it would be so easy. Put some cleavage and go stream, and then bam, you're at the top of Twitch. It's actually not true.
No.
It's not true. It's actually harder to gain respect and momentum and stay there if you're a woman on Twitch, for example.
And that's exactly what you were saying. That's exactly why. And that's what you guys are helping to bring about, is that stupid, toxic mentality of, oh my God, you have boobs, so you're now the top of the thing. Stop it. Eliminate it. So yeah. Rick, what about you? What's the legacy? You kind of talked a little bit about what you want to do with Supergirl Gamer, but as a person and the head of it, what are you looking to leave behind?
Yeah, I mean, following that legacy after hearing Stephen M's legacy, like that's almost like following the resume before, you know, challenging. But I mean, honestly, ours is really simple. The best thing I want 5, 6, 7 years from now, me and Emily and Stephanie to meet somewhere and crack open a beer or a bottle of wine or whatever and toast the fact that Supergirl Gamer Pro is no longer needed, you know, and that we've done our job in trying to just equalize and normalize what should be already, you know. And so for us, I mean, that's what we strive for in all the areas that we've taken on with Supergirl, is just to create that pathway for recognition, you know, and you know, experiences and opportunities. One of the things that we also hear from women a lot is that, they explain that one of the reasons why there are substantially more men than women in sort of the upper levels of the professional gaming circuit is because women just don't have access to the same coaching. They don't have access to the same experiences, the same training. It's like in any sport. If you're a 17-year-old basketball player and you're trained by an elite level AAU coach versus you're trained by your dad, that elite level AAU coach is going to likely take that player and mold them into somebody who has more opportunities and more access and develop their skills more effectively. And it's the same thing here. So as we begin to get more women recognized, that hopefully some of them will go into coaching, and some of these women will get access to the best, doesn't matter, male or female, development opportunities. And so that's a big part of it as well. But in the end, I keep coming back to the same thing, but it's about changing the game.
Love that. Like I've been saying the whole time, I love it, and more people need to be embracing that. And on that note of kind of seeing inspiration and all that stuff, Emily, we actually heard that your brother played a pivotal moment when you started becoming more serious about gaming. That's the note that I have, and in my mind, I'm like, I want to know more about that. Can you elaborate? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. So I have an older brother. He's great. He really pushed me to be the best that I could be in anything. I used to play soccer when I was younger. So I just kind of watched everything that he did. So he's the one that got me into gaming, and he would leave open GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, and we would compete against each other. Okay, it's supposed to be fun. It's a game, but no. This was a very competitive time. We would argue. I would hog the Nintendo all the time. It was a lot of fun, but I love that he never went easy on me. He made me work for the win. And so a story that I tell little girls often, because every summer UCI does a esports girls and gaming camp. So girls 8 to 16 years old go there. So I'll go there and I'll talk to them for an hour to kind of tell them a little bit of my career, how I started. And they ask me about obstacles. They tell me they'll get made fun of, harassed, etc. And it makes me really sad that they're still dealing with that. But my little story that I tell them of how I came over that was help from my brother. So when I first started 14 years ago, I was really young, and I was joining an online server like anybody would do. And I have a high-pitched voice, like I said before, and I would get made fun of a lot. And so these guys were like, "You're bad, you suck," and they kicked me out of the server. And I'll never forget this because it made me cry, and it's not easy to make me cry. I'm pretty tough, but it made me cry. So I went to my brother and I told him what had happened. I said, "They kicked me because I was a girl. That's not fair." And my brother said, "They didn't kick you because you're a girl. They kicked you because you sucked." So that gave me a kick in the butt to work hard. If you can imagine like a Rocky training, I was training hard, my aim, and I was watching some pros, and I was just getting better. So for about 2 months, I trained hard. I remember the server. I went back into the server a few months later, and I owned everybody. I had like the highest MVPs, the clutches. I was top fragging, and one of the guys recognized me again because I have a high pitched voice. I'm probably the only one that went in there with the voice, and he apologized for being so mean to me and recognized my hard work. So that's the story that I give these little girls that struggle with harassment or toxicity. That if I never went back in that server that day, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be have a career in esports. I wouldn't be talking with you guys. And yeah, all thanks to my brother.
The moral is
awesome.
that you don't suck because you're a girl. You just suck.
The moral is
Exactly.
get good. Get good.
Get good.
That's so cool. So
That's
so they
a really
like
good way to make haters shut up too. I recognize is just when you're top fragging, then they don't have they're at the bottom of the scoreboard. What else can they say at that point? So yeah.
I feel like that's prevalent in any sport, whether it be an esport or a real sport. When you're first coming in, it doesn't matter what gender you are. You're not going to have that respect. You need to demand it. And you did that. You're like, all right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to work hard for it. And then you're like, here you go.
Make them apologize.
I love it. That's awesome. That's super cool. It's interesting to see how people in our lives shape the things that we do and how we grow and evolve. For a less serious question that is also still very fun, Steph, we all know that tags, gamer tags, are important, specifically lowercase and uppercase, and how it's said and how it's spelled. Yours, I recognized, is all lowercase. Why is it important that is done correctly when promoting or anything?
Well, I mean, the business answer to that is branding, right? If you will Google Miss Harvey with one word, whether it's uppercase or lowercase, it's really not important as long as it's all the same. And
Right.
then you can Google it. It's really just for that. When articles write Miss Harvey with a space, it looks more like calling me by my name than a branding. And you know what? I regret picking Miss Harvey as a branding name. It's the worst decision I've ever made in my gaming career, but it's there and I kind of will not rebrand. So it's going to be Miss Harvey for life. So I just make it really clear whenever I have interviews now, because even when I mention it, they will write the, or caps H and stuff like that. I just think it's the ugliest thing in the world because that's not my brand name. It could be
liquor or something.
Yeah.
Something weird.
It could be what? I didn't hear
Toe
it.
liquor.
Toe liquor
It could
67
be.
8. Yeah.
It could be, but one thing that flight attendants or right before you come into a flight, they always check your ticket and then they always go like, "Oh, have a good day, Miss Harvey," and I'm always like, "Nailed it! That's the only time I'm happy about my name." And people that are with me, they're like for a second their brain kind of bugs because they think they just called me by my gamer name and I'm famous, and I'm just like, no, it's like Britton Harvey on my day, but yeah, so it's I don't like my name, but because it's my branding, I want it to be written properly. And you'll still see interviews all the time that write it wrong. And every time I'm like, ew. Like, I don't understand because it's written nowhere like that, but interviews still get it wrong. So I'm like, I always think, oh, they're doing a poor job of like, it just speaks to the quality of a journalist when they kind of mess up your own name and on all of your social and official paper and in bios and everything, it's written differently. So yeah.
I love it. I totally understand that. I've gone through my own things and I'm like, do I keep this name? And at what point you've been with it for so long, you're just kind of like, I have to. It would cost more to rebrand than to actually
and like
change it.
Like my rebranding could be even worse. Who knows, right? So I'm just gonna keep it.
Just write it through.
Until you get married and then you become Mrs. Harvey.
No, I'm French Canadian. We don't change. We don't. We don't change our names or anything. Like I'm gonna stay the same. I miss.
You thought this out. You thought this out a lot. You're like, okay, if I'm sticking to this, here's every reason why I'm sticking.
Also,
to it.
we don't really get married over here, so. And that is true. My parents are not married. I've been together for like 40 years. So it's just
wow.
Yeah, it's a French Canada. It's just a little different. So no, Rick, I will always be Miss Harvey.
Rick, do you have a gamer tag?
That's a good question.
Rick, what's yours?
So
Come on.
I'm a dinosaur. I should probably call myself Dinosaur. So I grew up and my gaming was like Galaga and Pong and stuff like that. So no, I don't have a gamer tag.
But at the arcade with the high scores, you have to write your name.
Oh, that was always Ricky B. That was
there it
there
is.
You go.
That's your gimmick tag.
There it is.
I like that.
That's clean. Okay. I like that too.
It is really clean.
Yeah, I'm not a big social media guy. So when I first got on social media, I didn't want my name to be out there. So my social media name was also Ricky B, but it was BEE.
Oh.
See, you have it. You have your thing.
You
I'm sure if I Google it right now or nothing else, but your branding comes out.
I don't know that I want to challenge you to do that. The internet can be crazy. I love it. I seriously, I could talk to you guys all day. We've just got like 1 or 2 questions left, unfortunately, but I think these are pretty good ones. And this is for all 3 of you. what advice would you give to young girls out there who look up to you or want to get into the industry, whether it's streaming, competitive, whatever the case may be? What would be that advice? Emily, we'll start with you. No, Steph, I'm sorry. I'm just going around. Whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Steph. Good.
Okay. Actually, I'm super excited to be talking about that with Em on the call, because I don't think we've ever had the chance to talk about this together. But one of the most important thing, it's like a two-part thing. Okay, little girls out there, you need to listen to this. Don't compare yourself to others. I think it's really hard, especially in a competitive environment, to not compare yourself, because there's actual rankings, like you finish first, second, third, and it's easy to be kind of upset at someone that finishes first, and if you finish second, but you need to think about it in a totally different way. You need to be not comparing yourself on social media. It's so hard, and if someone else's success doesn't make your success irrelevant, and it's something that I learned way too late in my career. And I think that at the beginning of M's career, like not at the beginning of your career, but when you became a little bit more fleshed out with your team and you started winning as well, we never had really much of competition in North America. So when they started growing up, I couldn't be happy for them. It was really hard for me to learn how to be happy for them. I was happy for them at the beginning. Yes, there's another team, but then when they started beating us, I was like, okay, not happy anymore. So I think that was really, really difficult for me to learn. And I guess I had to face that adversity, and these are learning lessons to be where I am today. So there was a very crucial point where I started realizing that I could be happy for them winning. And it was important to actually stick together and be proud of them winning, even if that meant that I lost that day. And I had to be mad at only myself if I lost, just because if I didn't do my best, then I could be upset. If I did my best and they still won, I could just be happy, right? So there was never any moment where I should be upset at opponents unless they're disrespecting me, or I should always lift other women up in my community. So that's the part, like the two-part thing, where I think that actually Emily had a huge impact in my life, because I had to go through that process with her, unfortunately. To get to where I am today. And nobody ever taught me that. It's something that I had to realize, that the anger that I had inside of me was only hurting me. And like not being happy for their success was only hurting me. Like they didn't care. They were happy. They were winning, right? And then after that, we kept like winning, losing each other, and we were like really good competitors and whatnot. And then I learned to respect them just the way I would like to be respected. And then after that, I've been preaching that to everyone, like, dude, lift each other up. And then when NA was on top of the world, I was proud, because I'm like, we're the toughest region, like NA are winning. And then like, and we've been at the top, whether it's them or us, for the last like almost 20 years. Like NA has been at the top, and we have like 0 teams, so we're doing something great, the two of us. So that would be my advice to little girls. Women got to stick together and cherish their opponents in the right way, and support each other, because if we want to get respected by men, we need to respect ourselves first.
Love it.
Oh,
Love
so
it.
good. I got chills with that. That's
Yeah, at
so
first
good.
I was like a little emotional, but then I got the groove of it.
I
Good.
love it.
Emily, what about you?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I really respect what Steph just said. Absolutely true. So my advice to young girls is just something that I struggled with. So again, if someone's ever pushing you down or trying to make you fall, you always get back up. Always get back up and use that negative energy that you have surrounding you, whether it's family or friends not supporting you or just random people. Use that negative energy and just kind of combine it into a positive one that can push you even more to reach your goals. And that's something that I tried so hard to do. I still try to do that, but that's something that hopefully people can also try to do, and it'll help them.
That's awesome. I think that's really good advice that a lot of people they get discouraged when they fall down. So that's
Yeah.
really good advice. Rick, what about you?
I think for me, it's encouraging people to find out where their passion is and what they love, and then to really go into it full bore. It's pretty easy to be okay at something. It's probably even relatively easy to be good at it, but it takes a tremendous amount of effort, energy, enthusiasm, time, commitment, etc., to be great at something. And you've got to be willing to whatever that thing is. And if it's in gaming, it doesn't have to be to become a pro player. Maybe to be an art director, or to be in development, or to be in marketing or social media. Whatever it is you decide is your passion, you go all in and you make it happen. You don't let obstacles. You see a wall in front of you, you figure out a way to go over it, around it, or even through it. You don't stop, and you put the time, the effort, and the energy in to being great at something, because that's something I think that the younger generations struggle with a little bit. There's a sense of, well, okay, well, mediocrity is acceptable, and if you want to be at the top of your field, that idea needs to go pop right out of your head, because that just doesn't work. And strive for the holy grail. That's it. Just push yourself.
I love that. And we're seeing that now with specifically with streaming and esports. It's the people that are doing the same old. It's not working. How are you going above and beyond to be the best that you can be and really outshine the others? And I think that you three are fantastic examples of that, and really, really, really awesome icons for people to look up to. And with that being said, the time, and that I hate that. I just want to know
Aw.
everything about all the things. But you guys have been great. I do want to let each of you do a quick round robin and do a shout out, a plug for something that you're working on, your socials, whatever you want to do. Steph, we'll start with you since you like to go first. No.
Hey, I'm sorry. I feel I've been talking so much. So many
you're
things.
fine.
CLG initiatives, but also, like I said, I have my own brand as well. So I'm starting a bunch of things. I'm actually starting a clothing line. Super excited because I know nothing about it, and I had to learn and stuff like that. So that's definitely in motion, as well as a really great podcast with Michelle Moreau on a network coming soon. So there's a lot of things going on. Just follow my social media at Miss RV everywhere. And if you want to tease me, use caps on the H especially, and I will reply. I will for sure reply. So thank you so much for having us, and it was a great guest to be with.
Thank you. Emily, what about you?
Well, shout out to everybody that has continued to support us, because you are recognized. And make sure you follow me on all of my social, because it helps support me and my team. I post updates on our future events there. It's Emily, my gamer tag. And I'm currently working with RAD, which is Rise Above the Disorder. Because I work in the mental health field, I'm applying that to gaming. So we're working on a really cool project to help people who are struggling with anxiety and depression. So I'll be announcing something about that soon. I'm excited.
That's really cool.
I can't wait to learn more. I love it. Rick, you are up.
Yeah, it's really important. We've talked a lot about the Supergirl Gamer Initiative, and I think what I would really encourage people to do is to enter the tournament. So we have a 9-week tournament series that's online that starts tomorrow night. Every weekend there'll be 3 games. Every Friday is Counter-Strike. Every Saturday is League of Legends. Every Sunday is Hearthstone. You can enter as many times as you want over the next 9 weeks. There's a cumulative ranking system. So if chances are the more you play, the higher your rankings get. And the top teams in LOL and in CSGO and the top players in Hearthstone will advance to the Supergirl Gamer Championships, which will be held in San Diego in the beginning of October, where there's cash prizes and product prizes and all sorts of other goodies and experiences from our partners. So I'd encourage people to enter, to compete. Also to watch them we have both Twitch and Facebook are partners in this thing and are streaming it live. Steph is actually our caster for the CSGO events, which we're really excited about. And I'm not sure if Dig is playing or not yet. I don't know if that's been decided, but I know at the very least you guys are going to be at the championships event, supporting it there.
Mhm.
So go to the website, which is supergirlgamerpro.com, and you can get all the information on the tournament schedules, how to register, how to watch the streams, all the tags and everything. And I know we're also at SG Gamer Pro for all of our socials. So please come out and support all these amazing young women that are part of the whole Supergirl initiative. Yeah, let's turn things around together.
Woo!
I love it, and I could not agree more. Thank you, everybody. One more big virtual round of applause for our guests. Again, in case you need to know who they are, we have Emily Grito, we have Stephanie Miss Harvey, and Rick Bratman. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been an honor. And thank you to everybody tuning in that has watched, that has supported, and continue to support. As both of these women have put so eloquently, it's not enough to just watch and say that you're friends with one. You actually have to reach out, and you have to make that difference and shut down the toxicity. Let's come together as gamers and realize we just love games at the end of the day. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you all for tuning in. Really quick plug for the other Wizard World panels in case you guys came in a little bit late. We've got Wiz Quiz tonight, nerdy Survivor style trivia with your host, Mike G. He will be back on that. Saturday, we've got Max Brooks signing copies of Devolution. Tuesday, we've got the cast of Battlestar Galactica and the cast of One Tree Hill separately, not together. That would be a weird fandom clash. And then Saturday, we've got the cast of Sons of Anarchy, as well as tons of other really awesome things coming. So be sure to follow us at Wizard World Virtual across Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the goodies. And if you guys want to toss me a follow, go ahead. I'm the Mr. J _ on Twitch and Twitter. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next time on Wizard World Virtual Experiences.